Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Y'all, look what happened. My fridge died. But before we get into all that, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. And y'all, let me tell you, there's some shenanigans. Yeah, my fridge died, as you can see. So that means we had to move everything to the outside fridge. Now I know, y'all are saying, tell me you're a princess without telling me you're a princess. Who has an outside fridge? First of all, lots of people have an outside fridge. The intern and I were talking about, we don't even remember how we got the outside fridge. I mean, we're not outside, we're in the garage, obviously, right? We don't even remember how we got the outside fridge. Something about somebody like bought a house and it was in their garage and they didn't have room in the garage for a fridge. So we're like, heck yeah, we'll take a fridge. And usually we just have it out here with like Cokes and waters in it. And of course my wall of yogurt. Y'all remember last week I made a joke about how I hoard Greek yogurt? Not such a joke anymore because check this out. Hang on, let me flip y'all around. Normally I have that whole big old inside fridge for storing and organizing my food. Now it's all jammed up in here. So what that means is I have to be very judicious about what I buy and what I bring into the house until we figure out what's going on with the inside fridge. The intern has some guy coming to look at it and hopefully try to fix it, or we're going to have to replace it, which y'all, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like to try to find a new fridge with supply chain issues and all that. So hopefully they'll be able to fix ours. But in the meantime, y'all, I can't be just willy-nilly ordering Walmart and Aldi and cooking whatever I want. So I'm going to have to eat from the food that I actually own. I know. Oh, the horrors, right? So y'all, of course, I'm mostly kidding, but really only mostly kidding. I am seriously going to have to plan my meals for the next few days. Hopefully just a few days. Hopefully the fridge is only mostly dead. But I'm going to have to plan my meals for the next few days around eating food that, one, I have in the fridge, and two, food that I can find in the fridge, because y'all saw that catastrophe. So let me get inside, let me get set up, and we'll talk about the kind of things we're going to eat. All right, y'all, let's talk about this. So I know y'all are laughing at me, and that's okay. And I hope you've stuck with me, because I realize this is not like an everyday situation for everybody where your fridge dies. You can't see my fridge, but where your fridge dies and you have to live out of coolers or out of a smaller fridge setup. But I do feel like it's not uncommon, or at least it's not unheard of, that you have to make do with what you have on hand. And if you're trying to follow Weight Watchers or limit your calories or limit your carbs or do Atkins or carnivore or some kind of restrictive diet where you have to be careful about what you eat, and you can't just like go get food or order food. I feel like that's a real life situation. Y'all, things are rough nowadays. And sometimes it can be sort of a long time or a long stretch between paychecks or paydays or whatever. And we have budgetary restrictions that cause us to have to eat what we have on hand. Or like, what if you have a sick kid or a sick dog or a sick partner? Or if you're sick, right, and you had planned to go to the grocery store or order groceries, and you just can't get your poop in a group to get it done and get that order done, or heaven forbid, try to get to the store. You got to make do with what you have on hand. Or, y'all know I live in the Great White North. It's supposed to snow this weekend, y'all. Well, maybe not snow, but it's going to be cold and rainy. Now, the weather right now isn't going to keep me from going out and getting groceries, but in the middle of February when it's negative 41, I'm not going out to get groceries. I am most definitely going to be making do with what's in the house. So my situation right now, like the actual details of my situation, might be a little unusual where I'm trying to make do because I don't want to buy more stuff to put in the fridge. But I feel like the idea of making do with what you have really isn't all that uncommon. So I'm gonna make do with what I got. And I hope maybe you can get some ideas, or you can share your ideas with how you make do with what you've got when things get a little thin between paydays or when you just don't feel like going to the grocery store. So y'all know, we've talked about this before, how my work schedule's all crazy now. So instead of eating breakfast, oh, the intern just walked in. Y'all scared the bejesus out of me. Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, sorry about all that. Y'all, I've completely forgotten where I was, but the intern just snuck in so quiet, I didn't realize he was here. And y'all know I'm reading scary books from a spooky book vlog, so that was a little off-putting. Anyway, work schedule. My work schedule's changed, so now instead of having like a whole bunch of time to eat breakfast after I do a whole bunch of working out, I eat like little dribs and drabs through the morning, and I work out kind of in between. So this morning I had first breakfast and second breakfast. Well, now I need to have third breakfast, like finish my breakfasting. But I need to work out first, because if I eat and then work out, it's not going to go well. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go work out and then come back and eat. I already had my banana and my yogurt, so I'm going to work out and then eat my Cheerios, and then we'll move on with our day. So y'all sit tight, let me work out, and I'll be back and we'll talk about some food.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times.
All right, I finished my workout, or I probably should say I survived my workout. Y'all, that first round, I grabbed the wrong weight of weights. Like, I grabbed heavier weights than I meant to, but I didn't want to stop and put them down. So I went through my whole, like, my first round of workouts with weights that were too heavy. But we survived, and now it's time for third breakfast. I think I told you, first breakfast I had early this morning. It was a banana and chocolate hummus, which was already in the fridge. Second breakfast, you saw what that was. It was from the wall of yogurt. And y'all, even with just that limited space I have out there in that smaller fridge in the garage, I still do the same thing with my fruit for my yogurt. I do, and I have 3 of them. I'm like, y'all remember Rory and Gilmore Girls with the highlighters? That she had to have 3 highlighters, one to use, a backup in case that one dried up, and then a third one in case she lost the first 2. Same. I always have, I try to keep 3 bowls of fruit in there for my breakfast. I have 1 to eat, and then a second one in case I forget to refill the first one, and a third one in case the whole thing falls off the rails. So I have 3 bowls of thawed fruit out there, just because that's how I do it. So anyway, I had a banana and chocolate hummus for first breakfast. I had my standard yogurt and thawed fruit for second breakfast. And now I'm going to have some Cheerios. And y'all know this, that I eat this for breakfast every day. Cheerios and almond milk, plain old unsweet almond milk. And y'all, I already owned this. I think I have 3 cartons. This might be carton number 1 of 3, because part of the issue with the fridge being so full, I might have already told y'all all this, but is Costco, right? That we shop at Costco and Sam's because we know that we have that additional space out there. Well, now our additional space is not additional space, it's just space. But regardless, I have 3 half-gallon containers of silk almond milk. So anyway, I'm going to have half a cup of Cheerios with half a cup of almond milk for third breakfast. And then I'm going to get cleaned up a bit from that debacle of a workout I just survived and do some work. And then, y'all, it's going to be time to think about lunch. And lunch is actually going to be a bit of a challenge. So we're not going to talk about that yet. I'm going to enjoy my breakfast. I'm going to work. I'm going to drink some coffee. And yes, this is part of my actual sanctioned amount of coffee for the day. Y'all have heard me talk about how I'm only allowed to have a certain amount of coffee in a day, because when I have beyond that amount, I'm like, I hear colors, like the intern's like, how much coffee have you had today? So I try to stay at or below that amount so as not to call attention to the amount of coffee that I drink. So I'm going to enjoy my coffee. I'm going to enjoy my Cheerios. I'm going to do some work, and then we'll come back and deal with lunch. And you can probably see over here, I have some chicken thawing for dinner. because I had it in the freezer. So I'm going to make some chicken, and I'm going to try to make just enough so that it doesn't end up, leftovers don't end up in the fridge. Because y'all, stuff's expensive and I'm not throwing it away. So if there are leftovers, they're going to go in the fridge. But my goal is to make stuff that the intern and I will both eat so that it doesn't end up in the fridge. So let me eat my breakfast. Let me stop worrying about all this, and I'll come back and then we'll deal with some more stuff in a little while. All right, y'all, I did some work. I got some clothes back on. Did I tell y'all what the intern was up to when he came home? So he's buying a stick shift car here in town, locally, to teach his godson how to drive a stick shift, because you gotta know how to drive a stick shift. So he found this little Triumph Spitfire that he's going to, I don't know if he's gonna test drive it, I don't know what he's doing. But his buddy is driving him out there to check out this car, and if it's worth the asking price, he's gonna bring that car back here. So that might happen whilst we're here talking, so if there's commotion, that's what that's about. But I'm hungry, and it's lunchtime. I was gonna try to wait. The reason I mentioned all that is I was gonna try to wait until the intern got back so that we didn't have to deal with all that, but I'm hungry. So we need to talk about lunch. Now, normally, and we've talked about this before, I've been eating sandwiches for lunch instead of salads, which is all well and good because I would have ended up having to buy salad and try to stick it in that fridge. So I've been eating sandwiches, but normally I eat ham and turkey together on a sandwich with like lettuce and tomato and, maybe cucumbers or pickles or something to beef it up. Well, all I have is ham right now, and ham has points, which I do count points for turkey, but turkey doesn't really have points. And I don't want to add a whole bunch of points to a sandwich by putting a bunch of ham on it. And I don't want to eat like a scrawny little sandwich and be hungry later. So we're not going that way. And we're not buying nothing. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a tuna sandwich. And y'all, I just looked over and realized that I didn't take my can of tuna out of the thing. But that's okay, because we can talk about this. So y'all know we've done grocery hauls galore where I buy these tunas, and it's 8 cans of tuna, and they've gone up in price, but it's still a good deal. It's 8 cans of tuna for, it's like $7.96 now or something. So we're gonna call it 8 cans for $8 because, sorry, that's super rattly. But I want to talk a little bit about what this sandwich is going to cost us, because one of the things we're talking about is if your budget's stretched a little thin and you're trying to make do with what you've got. So we have a $1 can of tuna, and we're going to make this into a sandwich. So I've got bread. Y'all know the bread that I like. This is about $3.50-ish a loaf. And I think I can get 10 sandwiches out of a loaf of bread. Does that sound right? That's how I'm calculating it. So 35 cents. Yeah, that's right. Y'all, I had to quick do math there and I scared myself. 35 cents for the bread, $1 for the tuna, and I'm going to use 2 eggs, which are already boiled. $1.80 for 18 eggs, so 10 cents an egg, 20 cents for my 2 eggs. And I'm going to round up. Y'all, I'm not going to go back through and calculate all of these things, but y'all have seen me buy this lettuce before. It's around, I think it's like $2.40 for this thing of lettuce, but I'm not going to go through and figure out how many servings I get out of this to figure out my serving cost for the lettuce. Of lettuce, I'm going to use my dill pickle relish in my tuna salad, mustard, and y'all, if you know, you know, my fat-free ranch dip. And y'all, all this is plain non-fat Greek yogurt mixed with powdered ranch dip and a little bit of, I think this one's garlic powder, and some salt. So of course I'm going to drain the water out of my tuna and then mix in some ranch dip and some mustard. And y'all, I think what I'm going to do is take one of my eggs, peel it, use an egg slicer and slice it up and mix it in with the tuna, and that's going to bulk up that can of tuna. 1, make it go further, and 2, add some more protein for cheap. So if you're trying to feed multiple people on 1 can of tuna, adding eggs to it's going to help. And y'all, I like it. It's like a tuna and egg salad together sandwich instead of just tuna salad or egg salad. So I'm going to do that with one of my eggs. I'm going to throw it in my tuna salad, mix it up, and then for my bread, I'm just going to take 2 slices of bread and put some ranch dip on it to sort of seal the bread a little bit. Put a little bit of mustard on it to give it a little bit of bite. Tuna, and then lettuce. I could add some tomato to it, but I just don't feel like messing with all that. So there's my sandwich. And with my other egg, I'm going to make a deviled egg. Normally I wouldn't bother with this for just 1 egg, but I want to show y'all that this is also an option for cheap, and it's quick and easy, and it'll bulk up your lunch. So fat-free deviled egg. Just peel your egg, slice it in half, scoop out your egg yolk like you would with any old deviled egg, mash up your egg yolk, but instead of mayonnaise, we're going to throw in some fat-free ranch dip. Throw that in with a little bit of mustard. Mix it up, throw in some salt, scoop that back into your egg, and you've got a 0-point deviled egg. So y'all, that's going to be my lunch. A tuna and egg salad sandwich with 1 deviled egg. And of course, I'm going to eat some carrot chips with some hummus. I'm going to have roasted red pepper hummus and some ranch dip. And y'all, I'll just link a video here with how I make my hummus, because y'all, I'm not going to make more hummus and add it to that fridge. So that's it for lunch from the fridge. Let me eat my lunch, let me do some more work, and then we got to deal with dinner. All right, y'all, it's late, I'm tired. Let's talk about dinner so we can wrap this thing up. Like I mentioned before, I had chicken in the freezer, so I just went ahead and thawed that, and that's what we're having for dinner. And like the eggs earlier, I made the chicken 2 ways, just to give us some options. Now the first thing that I did is already done. The other, you might be able to hear it, is in the air fryer right now. So y'all, first of all, how cute is this little pot? This is the is it La Crusette? La Crusade? I don't know how you say that. But the intern bought me this heart-shaped Dutch oven years ago for Valentine's Day, and I love it so, so much, but I never get to use it because you can see how small it is. And y'all know how I love to make a big old pot of something when I cook something in the oven. So I rarely get to use this thing. So I'm taking advantage of the opportunity today to make 1 little chicken breast in this. And here's what I did. Y'all know the standard. I put 1 chicken breast. I seasoned it with, you know what's coming, garlic and onion and black pepper and sea salt, shake-on seasoning, and maybe a little bit of salt, I can't remember. But just put the top on it, stuck it in the oven at 250 for about an hour, took it out, shredded it, and that's good to go. I've got the other chicken in the air fryer right now. Let me check on it. It should be just about done. All right, y'all, that chicken needs to cook for another minute, and the intern just walked back in and said that he got that car home. So let's go look and see what he has brought to my house. Hang on. All right, it's chilly out here, y'all, and the light isn't fabulous, so we're not going to be out here for long, but there she blows.
1978 Triumph Spitfire. About 4 different colors of paint on it. Everything works. Little mirrors so you can see. Hard to adjust from the inside while you're driving though, which I found out driving down Spear Street. Runs great. That's it.
All right, well, the chicken is in the oven. Babe, dinner's almost done, so don't get into anything. And y'all, let's go in there and get that chicken out before it burns. Seriously, y'all, the intern just bought that car. Anyway, but that was the perfect little interlude because this chicken is perfect now. So here's what I'm thinking. The chicken that I cooked in the air fryer, I know the intern will eat, and I don't want to actually make it into anything, but instead I want to talk about some options that we have. So one thing that we can do is make burrito bowls. We made those last week, and I'll definitely link that here. Those were exceptionally good, and it's just rice and black beans with some salsa, some seasoning, and then whatever meat you have, and maybe some cheese on top. Now, I don't want to make rice. I think I have black beans in the fridge, but I don't want to make rice because I don't want leftovers, because I don't know when my big fridge is going to be back in working order. So I'm not going to make burrito bowls, but y'all, that would be a fantastic option. Definitely for the chicken that I cooked in the air fryer. Because I don't even think I told you what I did. So I sliced it up. And I left it in pretty big pieces because the intern doesn't like shredded chicken, which is why I'm not going to feed him the chicken from the oven. He likes big old chunks of chicken. So I sliced it up, or really just kind of chopped it up, and then just tossed it in some flavored olive oil and put that garlic and onion and black pepper and sea salt seasoning that I put on everything, put that on it. Threw it in the air fryer for about 3 minutes on one side, flipped it over, and did about 4.5 minutes on the other side, because you know we had to have the car interlude. So that's all there was to cooking that. That's done. And like I said, the intern will eat that. He would not eat a burrito bowl even if I were making them, but he will take that, roll it up in a tortilla with some cheese and some lettuce. This time I'll actually chop up some tomato. So he'll do like lettuce, tomato, cheese, meat rolled up in a tortilla, and that'll be a good meal for him. Or what he might do is just chicken with, y'all know those single serving size Bob Evans mashed potatoes or mac and cheese? He could do one of those with this chicken. And I'll definitely do my shredded chicken out of the oven in either a burrito made with one of these carb control tortillas. Remember, these are 2 points, I think. So I'll either do that, or this is probably what I'll end up doing, is shove it in a pita, because the whole pita is only 1 point. I'll stick in some lettuce and tomato, maybe some fat-free cheese with that. That's exactly what I'm going to do, y'all. That'll be really good. So that'll be dinner for both of us. One other thing that I did, y'all, either last night or night before, I made chicken in the air fryer and rolled it up in a tortilla with the rest of that rice that I made for the burrito bowls that we made last week. I had rice, black beans, a little bit of salsa, chicken that I cooked in the air fryer, rolled it up in a burrito. So good. Now, it was kind of a little bit of a lot of carbs, but remember, it's the carb control tortillas. So that's not a ton of carbs. And I think I did half a cup of rice. So that was 3 points for the rice, 2 points for the tortilla, no points for the beans, no points for the chicken. And that was like a whole big old meal. I was full. It was 5 points and I was done eating. So that's that. And y'all, we have now made it through our day without buying any additional food and just eating what we have in the fridge. So y'all, let me know what your go-tos are when either you're budgeting or you just don't feel like going to the store or whatever it is that's going on and you need to eat the food that you have on hand. What are your quick go-tos that you do to do that and still stick to your diet or whatever eating plan you're on? Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you made it through this whole adventure, we're definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos the beginning of every week with some book videos sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.